Well, we got our first official trailer from Ubisoft on Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's hard to fight back excitement, as it is all cinematic and supposed to be exciting, but one major thing still remains unknown, and that's gameplay and combat. While I was doing a bit of digging, I found a couple details that I thought were important to take note on and share with you guys. And towards the end, I got some theories on the story I want to fire off and see what you guys think. So let's get to it. Can you believe we're finally getting an Assassin's Creed game based in Japan? And they're going in heavy, while giving us not just a samurai to play, but the ultimate assassin and master of the shadows, the shinobi. Now you may be asking yourself, as I did, how's this gonna work in game? Do you get to pick one, or are you gonna play each character as the story plays out, similar to Assassin's Creed Syndicate? But before we get into all those questions, let's get a bit of background on these characters first. We have Nawe, the daughter of a famous shinobi, Fujibayashi Nagato. We can see right in the beginning their village gets totally steamrolled by a samurai clan, and our other protagonist, Yasuke, another portrayal of a real historical figure during the time of Feudal Japan, both offering their own set of skills. While Nawe is stealthy and light on her feet and wielding the familiar looking hidden blade, as well as a grappling hook and an assortment of other shinobi weaponry. Yasuke is big and powerful and goes in with a bang, sporting heavy classic samurai armor, as well as some serious damage dealing weapons like the kanabo and of course the katana. So how are we going to play two main characters at once? Let's dive deeper. The development team has confirmed that there will be swappable situations. How swappable is an even bigger question, because I can think of a recent game that offered swappable characters, but it had nothing to do with the combat moments. I'm referring to Spider-Man 2, of course. They boasted swappable characters in the time leading up to before the game was released, but only for us to find out that you can only swap while not in combat, and you're restricted from swapping while in the middle of a character-specific story segment. It makes sense for the story, but useless for gameplay. I have a feeling because these two characters in Assassin's Creed Shadows are both labeled as main protagonists, we'll still encounter character swap blocks for story content. But they did hint at the fact that you can swap while in places of danger, for lack of a better term. So will they limit it to waiting until one character is out of combat and can hide, or will we have full swapping at any moment? I can definitely see the purpose of utilizing both characters strategically, considering they should play totally different, and bring in their own specific skills and combat prowess. It could be a ton of fun to play from different vantage points, and it would be super badass if we got combo moves on cooldown when swapping in and out. I'm looking forward to some gameplay footage soon, and hopefully we can get some more answers when that starts surfacing. And a man can dream, can he? How about a little bit of co-op action? Come on, Ubisoft. Huh? Spinning off into more random details related to the gameplay, one super cool feature they mentioned is about the environment and more specifically seasons. And while we've seen this before in other recent games, one including Ghost of Tsushima, which I want to talk about a little bit later. Here they're taking the small details and pushing them a little further. For example, enemies will react differently to certain weather conditions. If it's raining, they head under covered areas to get out of the rain, or when it's cold out, they may gather around a fire in larger groups to keep warm. Plus, your range of cover changes as well, with leaves on bushes and trees falling off, grass dying out, and even ponds freezing over, making them no longer viable places to cover. So now we'll need to resort to ground cover and snow, for example. I can appreciate this, because it's things like this that can keep the game fresh. Subconsciously, you're forced into change how you might use stealth tactics when your typical forms of cover are no longer there. And sometimes those small details can make a big difference, so I like this one. Now they are being pretty stingy on the details of gameplay and what there is to do, and if they're offering anything out of the normal Assassin's Creed standards. Personally, I'm not too optimistic on them bringing in some wild new gameplay system. I just hope if they do stick to their old roots on previous games, they make the side content thoughtful and engaging, and not something I want to avoid because I've seen it before. Speaking of old content, it sounds like they'll be bringing in some kind of spy network, building up your own team of allies that can help track down information on targets, secrets, and so on. And maybe even back to an in-depth system to send different allies on specific missions. Which brings me to some of those theories. Do you guys think this is a brand new form of Assassin's Creed, just built around the Assassin's Creed name and mechanics, or do they stick to their roots with the Brotherhood of Assassins and the Templars? Here's my take. With Nawe's hidden blade and growing up in the assassin lifestyle of the shinobi, I think her father may have already been in a branch of the Brotherhood of Assassins, and she just naturally takes over her father's role. I think with the abrupt death of her father, which is just an assumption, she does what she feels is following the same path to honor him. Not necessarily being recruited like in previous Assassin's Creed games, but something more similar to Black Flag, where Edward killed that guy, took all his shit and impersonated him. But you know, hers is a more honorable version of that. And I have a feeling Yasuke may be part of the Templars, based on his devotion to the clan he was given to. But he has a change of heart after the invasion of Nawe's village, and they form a bond of their own to dismantle any clans that deem to be evil or against their values. Who their allegiance lies with is still a mystery to me, but it could just be a good old tale of two people starting a revolution to end the reign of those who strive to dominate the lesser. Let me know what you guys think. I love me some good theories. So all in all, without gameplay footage and small detail leaks, I'm definitely intrigued, but I can't help but think of one of my favorite IPs in probably the last decade, which is Ghost of Tsushima. One of the greatest samurai games of all time, with fantastic story, an incredibly detailed open world and graphics, and of course some of the best combat I've played to date. So that raises the question, are they going to match the quality of a game that's already knocked it out of the park with the samurai world in Japan, or is it going to be a flop? I still have yet to play Assassin's Creed Mirage, so my most recent experience with Assassin's Creed is Valhalla, and I'll give credit where it's due. They did improve the combat, but even that still doesn't come up to the same level as Ghost of Tsushima. And if there are any Assassin's Creed buffs out there, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Well, that's about it, my dudes. As always, happy gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.